Well, in the heart of the Native American community, Manoomin, or wild rice, holds historical, spiritual, and cultural significance. It serves as a bridge connecting generations and is a source of sustenance that has nourished both the stomach and heart for thousands of years. Over a long summer weekend, a group of folks came together to participate in Wild Rice Camp, where campers crafted rice and tools and gained perspective on a centuries-old harvesting tradition.
Wild rice, as I've been taught, is extremely important to us as Anishinaabe people because it was in our original stories and it's how we got to where we are. This area is the place where the food grows on water, and in our stories we were told we would need to move to the place where the food grows on water, and that's here, and that's wild rice. So it's not only part of our story and how we got here, but it's also part of our ceremony. It's nutrition, it's medicine, it is a part of everyday life. For us as well, it's something that has to be done with community. You can't really do it yourself. And that's one of the biggest things for me, is to bring people together.
Labor Day weekend often includes celebrating with family, friends, food, and community. That's exactly what was happening this year in Coleman and Tawas Lake, with a group of campers who have arrived with a specific goal in mind: to better understand all the aspects of Manoomin, or wild rice. One of the experts sharing decades of knowledge and leading campers on their journey is Roger Labine.
My parents and grandparents gave me probably 50% of the knowledge that I have, because they had shared with me. There were a lot of people that helped me with the stories and the teachings and the processes and how we need to live in balance with Mother Earth, and how we now are that spokesperson for all of these things.
Roger is amazing, an amazing teacher, and he's so knowledgeable. And he teaches that the relationship, you know, the sacredness of it, and the honoring it, the reciprocity, sustainability. I mean, that's all on the table. I was happy to be hosting and be a part of it.
Roger is fluent in the tradition and construction of ricing sticks and push-pulls. These are the tools campers will make and take with them out on the water to harvest wild rice. Harvesters use canoes to travel in pairs out on the water. The ricing sticks are used to gently bring rice into the canoe, and push-pulls are used to carefully navigate through the water without damaging the rice.
These ricing sticks were handed down to me. These are the ricing sticks that my grandmother used. I want you to notice is how light they are. My conservation code at home dictates that my ricing sticks cannot be longer than 36 inches and weigh more than 1 pound.
First of all, we smudged everybody, and I told them, I said, if you need to, go across that road over there and leave all that negativity over there. I said, because we want you to have a pure heart. We want to have you be clean. And as you start making these ricing sticks, you only do good thoughts. I also informed them that the material that we were going to make these sticks out of was gijik, which is that cedar, which is one of the 4 medicines.
That's perfect.
It's not a tool to go in there thrashing. If you have something really heavy and you're going in there with the hardwood, you're going in there, it's gonna hurt the rice. And we don't want to be disrespectful in that way, but we also don't want unripe rice. And we don't want to go in there and try to take everything, because that rice is not just for us. That rice is for the muskrat and the birds and the other geese and the fish even that makes their home down there. So that rice is for everybody. I think one of the things with all of the processing of rice, whether it's the making of the sticks or being out in the canoes, it's having this certain flow about you. You know, so even when you're doing that draw knife, you're moving, and it's like you're in the canoe, right? So that forever flowing like water, I think, carries throughout the entire process, and getting people to kind of think that way instead of I need to get this done or I need to pull this way. Just flow with it, just be a part of it. And once you get people into the woodworking, they have the right tools, they start to get the hang of it. They are different for everybody because they fit you. they're your tools, right? And I think a lot of people come in going, well, what are they? What are they supposed to be? Nothing. You know, they're not supposed to be anything. They're what you need and what you want to make them out to be.
After the first 2 days of Wild Rice Camp have concluded, campers have constructed the required tools they'll physically need and developed a thoughtful understanding of how to approach the rice.
Before we went out into the rice bed again, we took some time to do some prayers and to do an ask and put down an offering and say, is it okay if we come out today? Because again, it's always gently asking and moving in this world, because we are all connected to one another. So we did that before we ever even went out, and that ceremony is important. Once they did that, then they were able to kind of go out and test out, how do these work now? Like, what do I do with this now? And it's a little tricky using a push-pull for the first time if you haven't done it. And it's easier to go forward and get away and into the bed, but it's harder coming back and trying to understand how they would move in it, how they would swim through that wild rice. And we were able to collect a little bit. Ricing is a very sacred and cherished event for me. It's something where I connect into myself and connect into the water and just all of life. So every time I go out there, you know, I make sure I put those offerings down. I make sure I do that gentle ask and then listen, and I sing, and I really come back to myself every time I go out into a rice bed. And to be honest with you, I love to stand in a canoe. It's one of my favorite things. Even as a kid, I just thought, I don't think I'm supposed to sit in here. I had the hardest time sitting in a canoe. And so for me, that standing on the water and moving through just so gently is me, and is that great connection to all things. And it always makes me feel better when I leave the bed. Like I've just been hugged by all of creation, and they said, "We love you, kid," and then send me on my way.
After a successful day on the water, campers return to home base, where they'll process the rice.
What you want to do is let it air dry, because you're going to be changing that rice from a medicine to a food. And you do that process by putting it to fire.
And if you dry it for about 3 days or so, then you're going to parch it. And that parching it is a gentle kind of swoop that makes another lovely sound. And it takes that kind of dried rice and warms it slowly, or toasts it slowly as it goes around that parching pan. And if you get a nice crisp toast on it that's not burnt, that's not the popped rice, it starts to smell real sweet. It smells like sweet grass, and those tails kind of burn away, and then it's ready to be danced on, because the hulls are now stiff or hardened. It's a hard kind of hull, and when the hull is hard, the rice just twirls right out of it.
I needed to take a lot of weight off my foot, or feet, both of them. I say foot because when you're dancing on it, you put all your weight on one foot.
You're trying to be gentle with the rice, and we'll make a pit that has 2 stabilizing poles that come off of it that I use to kind of prop myself up to get my weight off of it. That helps me to not only be present with the rice, but to be able to be present within myself, and what pressure am I exerting on the world? How am I stepping down? You know, what am I doing? And then I kind of, you know, it's kind of like the twist, you know. It's very similar to that, but one at a time, just gently scooping. And I end up using my feet like my hands, like I would cradle a baby, just real gentle.
At the end of the weekend, campers leave with ricing tools, manumen, and so much more.
The more people learn the history of it, the relationship, and the love of it, teaching those things like that, I think that would, that's pivotal, the education process. And that means for Indigenous and non-Indigenous, all of us need to learn that relationship and that love and the how, you know, to do that.
Everybody comes at a different level of understanding. They come at a different way of being. And for us, the reason we teach to anyone who wants to learn is because we feel that if we can share this respect and love, that people will just heal and share respect and love. That's the world we want to live in.
Manoomin grows best in shallow water areas with soft, mucky bottoms with a slight water current.